Capricorns, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for June 13th through the 19th, 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Capricorn, this week we're going to try something a bit different. We're going to look at 4 key areas for you. First is going to be yourself, then your relationships, then your work, and then finances. So these are the most often asked about areas. So we're going to look at the chart from that perspective, and then at the end do an overview and tie it all together. So starting with yourself, which is seen by your ruler Saturn, you guys are in a reflective state, as you are half of the year roughly. You know, your ruler is so slow moving and so far away that for 5 to 6 months out of the year, he's retrograde. And so it's a good time for this time period up and through August to continue to reflect on things, rehash things. I think a lot of the stuff you're reflecting on has to do with your aspirations in life. How can you remodify your aspirations? Maybe some of you might be thinking about getting involved in community or network or group related things, you know, and cultivating those as well. So it's good to be flexible, be adaptive at this time, try new things, and I think all in all, just be open to learning. Now, in terms of your relationship sector, this is always seen by the moon because the moon rules your 7th house of relationships. So do watch the daily to see what the moon's doing in a particular day, and that'll give you a good idea of your relationship stuff. But in either case, we are approaching a full moon next week on a Monday. So especially over the weekend, there's this high point. There's this continuous unfoldment and higher energy about relationships for you. And that's usually the case. The full moon brings some sort of awareness about that. So good forward moving energy, and I think the more you're open to that, maybe working with relationships, there's more of that energy in the mix, whereas during the new moon, it's much more lower and receptive. Now, in terms of your work, we do have some planets shifting into your 6th house, which will start with Venus here on Friday, and then next week the Sun. So things right now is very much about you cultivating your self-expression. That's been this whole new moon. And that's been a good area for you to challenge yourself. But now with your work, you'll notice Friday onward, maybe there's some enjoyment to be had with your routine, your daily activities. Maybe a lot of you are meeting people through your work or whatever. Maybe developing your relationships with your coworkers or your clients. This is all Venus, which is about relationships, going into the work sector. All right, so that's quite good. Mercury, who does rule that 6th house of yours, is in your 5th. So again, it's like through developing your self-expression, developing what you really enjoy in life, that could be directly related to your work as well. Now, Venus rules that 10th house, and that's going to be that shift there as well. But the 10th house is more about career. So when it comes to the career stuff, the big picture stuff, there's a lot of this reflection about what really motivates you in the career front, and that's the Mars retrograde. So it's still great this whole month until Mars goes direct at the end of the month to continue to reflect on what really motivates you in your work, in your career. I think you're going to be learning a lot about that up and through this month, and I think this week is no exception to that. All right, so that's the work. In terms of your financial stuff, this is the area of having faith and trust, as it has been. This has been Neptune in your 2nd house. You guys are understanding, I think, more about how things do come to you in divine timing. The things you need are given to you, but it does really access your faith and trust. So this might be playing out in different areas. For some of you, it could just be with your values in life, the things you want to achieve, whether it's financial or otherwise. But this week, Saturn's going to be squaring up to Neptune, your ruler. All right, this is going to be Friday and Saturday. So when it does come to the financial stuff, it's going to be particularly important this week, I think, to have that acceptance, have that faith and trust, and be present. And that's really what this week is about. It's about you guys cultivating your spiritual development. A ruler squaring up to Neptune is not easy. It's a challenge. And I think challenging yourself to cultivate your spiritual development of acceptance, of faith, of prayer, of meditation, whatever it is that really helps you connect to the vastness of life, connect to God, if you see it from that perspective, or the universe, if you see it from that perspective, right? And through that, finding that connection, the point in which we all connect. And in that point, that is what gives us the peace, that's what gives us tranquility and the inner knowingness that everything is good, everything is okay, everything is unfolding exactly how it should. But it does require us to really challenge ourselves to really cultivate ourselves spiritually. So a great week for that. This is nothing new. It's been going on since November, and it's really been strong for you Capricorns and Aquarians who are ruled by Saturn. But here it's this presence, patience can really go a long ways this week. So that's going to be that Thursday and Friday. Let's go and see what else we've got that we may have not covered. Venus is going to be squaring up to Chiron on Monday. So looking at this overview now, you guys could be healing your self-expression, but you might feel some wounds about this. You might feel some wounds around your self-expression here on Monday, and maybe even about your career stuff, big picture things, but that's okay. Again, acceptance. This type of acceptance leads to the healing. All right, and this is the healing rejuvenation that could be continuing this week. Now, the sun does sextile up to Uranus. The sun does rule your 8th house, so there could be maybe something new to connect on a deeper level. Maybe it's about communication, exchanging with others, which is that Uranus in the 3rd, mixing things up, maybe reading a new book, something like that could be exciting. On Wednesday, there is some healing with that deeper stuff. So on Wednesday, doing that inner work, healing there, and also with maybe your mind, if there's any wounds around your intellectual abilities, your communication abilities, which can sometimes be the case with this, that acceptance goes a long ways. Then, Friday, Saturday, Saturn squaring up to Neptune. That's going to be the strongest point of this, of you guys developing yourself, again, spiritually. And then the full moon will be Monday morning, and that's going to be next week regarding your spiritual self. So you guys are definitely coming to a spiritual developmental time here. And if you've been specifically involved with anything on that level for the past 6 months that you can think about, often it's not a tangible thing, but sometimes it is. Now it's a high point. And I think especially this weekend, it's a good time to sit, listen, get into that internalized state, reflective, because I think there's a high point. There's a lot of awareness about spirituality and the importance of having peace in your life. All right, so Capricorns, have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.